Good morning, YouTube. My name is Alexander. This is the High Winds EDC channel. We review knives, we talk about knives and gear and a bunch of other stuff. What we're going to be looking at today is a close look at the Quiet Carry Drift and Vanex Super Clean Steel with the textured scale. It's a frame lock knife with a wire clip. We're just gonna have a close look of it, and we're gonna have my final thoughts carrying this thing for 7 days straight. This was my primary means of carry. I pretty much only use this I got it on a Wednesday, and this is Wednesday. We're doing this because this goes home today. So yeah, let's get into a little bit of that. First, what we see here, I'm gonna lube it up a little because as of yesterday, I'm having a little bit of gritty action on the disengagement. So we're gonna just throw a little bit of lube on it where you're not gonna do a disassembly. I've been specifically requested not to disassemble this knife, which is absolutely fine. Whenever you are getting knives on loan, you don't want to mess up another person's knife. I wouldn't want somebody to mess up mine if I sent it to them. So there are guidelines, to say the least. We are going to add a little bit of pivot lube from the outside, and we are going to clean it up a little bit because, like I said, I've been using this thing, and on the blade, it's like a finger oil magnet. I said that in my previous video. But yeah, we'll go ahead and take a nice, good, clean look at it. This is the lock side. As you can see there, it says Vanex. It's the name of the steel that is used to this. It's a nitrogen steel. I don't know what that means other than it's not going to be as corrosion resistant. Nice belly on the blade. See there, it says Quiet Carry. I love the subtle engraving on it. It's just lasered really subtly. There's the milling. It's like this crosshatch pattern. Sorry, it's confusing my camera just a little bit. It's got these flat hardwares on the show side, and then it's got these little dots right there. I guess that's the logo of Quiet Carry. Nice little back spacer with the optional lanyard hole. I think that's kind of lazy, but it's okay. It works, especially if you keep this in a sheath, which I tried to carry for 1 day in a sheath. But yeah, we're gonna clean it up. We're gonna, because yesterday I cut open a sandbag with it to pour out some sand, so it's due for a little bit of a cleaning and a stropping. Yeah, we'll get into a little bit of that. I probably won't do the stropping on camera, but the action's still good. It just feels a little gritty after putting it through that sandbag. But yeah, my experience with the Vanex Super Steel, the Super Clean Steel, is that the edge retention isn't the greatest. I had to strop this up pretty much every day since having it. Just keeping good practice of keeping a good edge on this thing, so that way I don't carry around a dull knife. Let's see, Monday I was with a guy I work with after my primary job, and we installed a flagpole in one of his customers' yards. Just a telescoping flag. So I cut open some topsoil with this thing, and it worked really well. What I did notice, Monday was the only day that I used this knife with gloves, and it's a little difficult to use this knife with gloves, like a reverse flick, because there's a good amount of space for you when you're not wearing gloves to reverse flick it or to slow roll it. But when you're wearing gloves, you can't really reverse flick. So there's that. I would say that this would be a good work knife if the edge retention, I feel, was a little better. And it could be that the 18-degree edge that the owner of this knife put on it is I wouldn't say bad or anything, but it just, I don't know, because this was sent to me after another person had it, and I believe he sharpened it before he sent it to that person, so that person got a little bit of use out of it. Now I got some use out of it, so I could say that maybe there's going to be some dull spots, to say the least. So it's not really catching my thumb, and I'm not going to sharpen it. But anyways, there's that information. Take that how you will. But this, in theory, could be a good work knife for EDC, cutting open bags. I mean, whenever I'm doing my manual labor job, very rarely do I have to actually like cut loose some rope like that's under tension or something like that. A lot of the time I can just, you know, use something like this to cut rope, open a box, cut some food. I do like this thing for food prep. It is it doesn't have a very thick blade stock. As you can see, it's very thin. I like it. I think it's almost as thin as the TRM Atom. I don't know what the behind the edge thickness is, but yeah, this is really good. I do like the jimping right here. It's very subtle, but even though I think they put the jimping in the wrong spot. Whenever I did my review of the Voxnez F5.5, which I no longer have, it was very intuitive that if you're going to choke up here, if you're going to put this forward finger choil, the jimping naturally goes right here. Like that's where it should be, and I think that's what the Voxnez does, and that's just his just genius when it comes to knives. Right here, it's good, it's okay. You do get a 4-finger grip, but that's where the jimping is, and then you choke up, and then your thumb's gonna want to go a little higher. So maybe a little bit more subtle jimping up here, or do away with this jimping and just add jimping here, because this is how you're going to be carrying it for the most part, unless you're doing some pinch cuts or something like that, or some batoning. I wouldn't baton with this at all. I will say that I accumulated a lot of sweat over the last week. It's been 100 degrees, it's been high 90s here in Lubbock, Texas, and so I've been accumulating a lot of sweat, and any other knife in my collection would have failed the what would you call it, the corrosion resistant pocket sweat high winds challenge. They would have failed miserably, but this one just really does good. I like the detent. The detent's not too strong. I can put a lot of force on this lock bar and I can still break the detent, so that's really good. So there must be a little detent ramp in there or something. I couldn't tell you exactly, but it's really nice. I like it. We're gonna go ahead and clean it off a little bit with 91% isopropyl alcohol, just so we can send it back. Like I mean, this thing has been in my pocket. I've sweated in it, and I'm not gonna send it back to the owner and be like, hey, here's my residue pocket sweat. So as you can see, I get a good little glob there. Just go and wipe it there. This is a pair of old denim blue jeans that I have. Just once my jeans rip, or once they don't fit anymore, we'll cut them up and make little shop rags out of it. I will tell you right here behind the thumb stud, there's a lot of dust gets collected right here, so we'll try to get some of that. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this in frame and work on it at the same time. Right here behind the thumb stud, if you close it, it's just, yeah, get a lot of stuff, sand, pocket lint trapped up in here, sweat for sure. Everything about this knife is 100% corrosion resistant. Titanium doesn't corrode. Phosphorus bronze washers do not corrode. The lock bar insert is made out of LC200N, which is a super stainless steel as well. And then of course the blade is made out of Vanex steel, which boasts high corrosion resistance at the cost of maybe losing a little bit of toughness, losing a little bit of edge retention. So there, that's cleaned up nice and good. No more fingerprints on the blade. I might be able to do a little bit more over here closer towards the edge. We don't ever want to send back a knife in worse shape than we received it, you know. That's just poor etiquette. That's not good. So we're just cleaning it up a little bit, so that way Mr. Ezra with Ezra's Everyday Carry on Instagram won't have to completely clean out this knife. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to do a lot of the inside just because there's not a lot of clearance. I don't think I can get this through there. But either way, we're not going to try. We're not going to mess anything up. As long as it's clean and what I've been able to touch is no longer has my germs or my sweat. We are going to add a little bit of Gunny Glide to the outside of the pivot. This is how I used to apply pivot oil on both sides, and then since it's on phosphorus bronze washers, it might not take as good, and you just work it in a little bit. Hopefully you won't make it as gritty. Sorry, I'm trying to keep you guys in frame. I'm gonna have to go back and look. Already it caught my fingerprints from just working in the blade, working in the oil on the blade. And it feels a little bit better. Like I said, might have to get the detent ball in there. I don't know if it's ceramic or stainless steel, the detent, but yeah, work it in. Get a little bit more isopropyl alcohol to wipe down that thumbprint that I left behind. Sorry. Yeah. And we'll see how it dries, what evaporates off of it, and we're somewhat good to go over here. That's where my thumb has been. Evaporates very quickly. That's why we use isopropyl alcohol. It's because it evaporates quickly and doesn't leave it behind any residue. So yeah, there we go. And now it's clean. I hope you guys enjoy this. This is just a close-up look and a 7-day final thoughts, impressions of the Quiet Carry Drift. I like it. I would buy this. The ticket price on this thing costs $200. My friend Ezra was able to purchase this one on the secondary market for below that price cost. But it's really good, and I feel like if you keep your eye on it on the secondary market, you could easily get it. They do come in G10 options. That G10 I think will lessen the weight of the blade a little bit, not too much. And it'd be cool because like if you get like a light colored G10, you could probably dye it to a preferable color. I do like this titanium scale, but I think my preference would be a non engraved scale, a non-textured scale. That's just my personal preference. I just feel like there's a lot going on. Even whenever I show it to the camera, it's like a lot. So it feels like jewelry. I don't know if that makes any sense. This scale makes jewelry, but I would definitely purchase one. Like let's say if after 2 years of hunting and I never got an Oz Machine Company Roosevelt, I would definitely settle for something like this. Maybe in MagnaCut, that'd be a great option. I've only handled MagnaCut in one knife, and I only handled that knife for a week, 8 days or so. But yeah, I mean, what else can I say that hasn't already been said? Trying to give you guys a little bit of nuance. The pocket clip is really, really good. I would not switch out the pocket clip. I would keep this pocket clip. Ever since handling the Slish Bowie, that was my first knife with a pocket clip, I was able to, I can say that wire pocket clips are my absolute favorite of all time. Yeah, the Quiet Carry Drift, everybody. Titanium scales, Vanex Super Steel, just, it's an all-around good knife. I really like it. It's good for everyday carry purposes. Not really good for your hard, heavy-duty stuff like bushcraft and all that stuff. I wouldn't use it for that. I've never done bushcrafting, so I couldn't even say that I could do it properly in the first place. Great for food prep. This thing demolishes cucumbers and cantaloupe, and wiping it down is really easy. It demolishes limes for cocktails. That's how I was able to use it. And yeah, it's all pretty good. I like it. It's a good knife. Is it the greatest? It surprised me for sure. This knife surprised me, and it's good to go in my book. If you're a person who just needs a regular EDC knife and you want to take your Kershaws and throw them out, I would get something like this. Yeah, anyways guys, thank you for watching. We'll get this posted, and hopefully you guys can enjoy it and you have a high winds impressions of the Quiet Carry Drift. Thank you all. Thank you, Ezra. Please go check him out. He's over off of Instagram at Ezra's Daily Carry. God bless you all. I appreciate your time. Bye-bye now.